Two strikes on it. Here's a pitch on the way. A swing and a belt. Left field. Way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
What a call. What a call. What a moment. Greatest World Series ending ever, no question about it. So tell me, Paul, when you get home, how did that compare to the previous victory?
Well, they're all different, aren't they? I mean, the first one was special because it was the first one. I mean, but to win one in the 6th game in the bottom of the 9th, you're like, how do you repeat that? I mean, and Joe dancing and all coming together. So they both bring memories back, and they are both very, very exciting. But it was funny. It was the kind of we got the monkey off our back by winning in 1992. The first, at that point in time, proved it could be done. We'd been good in 84, 85, 86, 87, which everyone, we didn't talk about, but that was the march against Detroit, 88, 89, and we'd done it. And there were a lot of changes. I mean, at that point, Dave Winfield, who was so instrumental in 92, was gone. Jimmy Key was gone, but in came Paul Molitor and Dave Stewart. And so there were changes there. And then Pat Gillick made the trade and brought in Ricky Anderson. I mean, if you start looking at the team, that was a team of Hall of Famers. I mean, this was not a team of just a bunch of all-stars. I mean, because if you weren't a Hall of Famer, you were an all-star. But there were 4 or 5 Hall of Famers on that team, and so it was just special, and it was done in Toronto. The first one was done in Atlanta. This was one that was done right here. Right before midnight. The ball goes out. Tom, the late great Tom Cheek makes the call, and we've been listening to it ever since, and thankfully.
You talked about the 14 changes from 92 to 93. I mean, you're in a situation where everybody wanted to come to Toronto and play for the Blue Jays, eh? Everybody wanted to come and play here.
Well, it was a selling tool. I mean, everyone forgets, how good the city is too. I mean, but the players that have been around knew what the city was and what it offered and that type. But and we had a good team. I mean, the core was still there. And so you really didn't have to worry about it. And young guys were coming on. The John Olerud, you could see what he was going to be. By this point, Robbie was in his 3rd or 4th or 5th year, whatever it was. But you were talking about someone special there. The outfield with Devon White. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a pitcher if you've got Devon White running patrolling center field? So it was all starting to come together. And by that time, Tom Henke had left, but we still had Wardo. And if you go back in that bullpen over the collection of 92 and 93, because I'll get confused on the and that's what happens when you get to be 7 years old. So. But I would. You get confused, but that bullpen had Todd Stottlemyre, it had Jimmy Key, and it had David Wells in it, it had Pat Henkin in it, it had Ward in it. It never really and Henke, of course, and so there were so many players that went on to have great careers, that won over 100 games. These guys were in the bullpen.
Yeah, and after that World Series win, making it back-to-back in 93. You were interviewed by your old pal, Rod Black. Let's run that.
I mean, the credit goes to Cito. I think it goes to Pat and everybody put the team together. We tried to do it when we started out this year, and all of a sudden, the whole thing worked out, so you can't beat it.
Now you got to go right back to work, and there are going to be some people who aren't going to be here again like last year. I know you have to cut your payroll, too. Your thoughts? I know you'd like to savor each moment. Can this team come back and make it 3? Is it possible?
Well, let me tell you, you cannot be a 3-peat unless you're a 2-peat. I mean, so we've done the 2-peat. That goes to credit, goes to say player development, Pat, Cito, everybody else. I think that we'll be trying to do it again next year. And it's too too early. I mean, this is a time to have some fun. This is a time to rejoice in what they did this year. And I'd like to think that, we're not even going to worry about who's not going to be here. Thank the people that have been here.
And was it fun? You look like you're having a good time. What are your
Oh,
thoughts when you see that young
no,
Paul?
that was a fun time back then. No, my thoughts haven't really changed. I mean, you've got to enjoy the moments. I mean, life is about celebration. One of the good things about sports, that I think we all understand, but all gets us frustrated, is it is the one thing that can pull a community together and can pull a province together, can pull a nation together. We can see it whether it's in the Olympics or whether it's in the Raptors or whether it's in the Blue Jays, because the Raptors and Blue Jays being the only professional teams in their respective sports, they can pull it together. But you knew that there was happiness. You knew there was there, and to be able to everybody come together, whether that you were living out west, whether you were living in Toronto, whether you were working, whether you were a Supreme Court judge, or whether you were somebody that was working didn't have a job. It didn't make any difference. You all came together, And so, I mean, that was a pretty special moment. I haven't seen that before.